When it comes to the fireworks we now expect at tonight's debate here in St. Louis, we turn to someone who's studied these things quite intensively, Frank Luntz, Republican pollster and Fox News contributor. And Frank, this Donald Trump tape is very vulgar and very damaging. I don't think there's any debate about that. But does the tsunami of media stories, the endless and reposting of the tape, does that amplify the impact on Donald Trump?
It does, but this is what everyone is talking about, that if you take a look at Twitter, if you look at Facebook, Google, Instagram, everyone is talking about this presidential campaign. It's the most talked about campaign that I've been around since 1992. And what makes this one significant is that even people who don't care about politics, who would normally turn this stuff off with just 1 month to go, they're all paying attention. There's a reason why that first presidential debate was record-setting. There's a reason why this morning, Sunday morning, you can wake up at 7 a.m. and it is filled with this conversation. It's because people want to know what Donald Trump is going to say next.
So it would be a mistake, therefore, to look at this purely in terms of political analysis. I mean, I had my questions here to ask you, does this affect him more with women or with all voters? What you're saying is this is a cultural event. Everyone is talking about it around the proverbial water cooler. It is everywhere online, and therefore the interest, even is just huge, whether you ordinarily tune in to politics heavily or not.
You can't get away from it, and people don't want to get away from it. It's why Fox News is having its all-time record ratings. And frankly, the competition is also up. You're picking it up on talk radio, you're picking it up in newspapers, and the problem is that they're not asking about substance. And Howard, I really do think this is an issue, that no one is asking which one is better able to handle a nuclear war, which one is better able to balance the budget. It's all about their persona. It's about their character traits. And that's good up to a point. But the American people need to be talking about the issues, and nobody is right now. The candidates aren't, the media isn't, the pundits aren't, nobody is.
Do you think the reason that the media are shying away, I mean, over the course of the campaign, obviously, we've talked a bit about the economy and taxes and terrorism, but the media is shying away because this other stuff, the juicy stuff, the talk of sex tapes, the talk of Miss Universe, all of that, it is like catnip and is so much more fun to cover and is easier to cover and delivers better ratings and more clicks. And if so, what does that say about the news business?
But what does that say about America? When you ask the question, would you rather see where they stand on issues, or would you rather see a Donald Trump sex tape? By 2 to 1, they're going to choose the Donald Trump sex tape. We've been finding this out for the last couple of months. It's genuinely upsetting for those of us who care about the future of the country. And I got to tell you, this is an impossible campaign for someone like me to cover, because nobody, not only are they not talking about the issues, they don't even know what the issues are. Social Security, education, things that are affecting us right now or over the next generation, and instead we're discussing the P word. And by the way, watching Saturday Night Live, and this is something that I also find significant, for the first time ever, just about every one of George Carlin's words that you can't say on television, you can now say, thank you, Donald Trump, thank you, media. That's where we've come, and it's a disgrace.
I've got about half a minute, so rather than just pile on the journalists and the pundits and the news organizations as, chasing the cotton candy and ignoring the substance, what I'm hearing from you is this is a reflection of the country, that we are a mirror to a country that is increasingly amusing itself to death.
There is a battle between William F. Buckley and that type and the PBS crowd, and the Jerry Springer and that crowd. And unfortunately, Howard, the Jerry Springer crowd won. And we're never going to be able to go back. The thing that I tell every viewer, once you step over that line of civility and indecency, once you start to use language that you might use in a car rather than in a presidential debate, you never go back. I think it's a poison. I think it's toxic. And the country's going to suffer.
Got it. Frank Luntz, thanks very much for your insights. Appreciate it. Still to come.